President Tinubu left Abuja for Saudi Arabia on November 9, 2023 to attend the first Saudi Africa Summit scheduled for November 10, 2023. The summit was aimed at having discussions revolve around supporting joint actions, enhancing political coordination, addressing regional security threats, and facilitating economic transformation through research and the local development of new energy solutions, while bolstering cross-sectional investment cooperation.
Under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's leadership, Nigeria is committed to attracting business and investment by ensuring policy predictability, secure property rights, and effectiveness of contracts.
On February 29, 2024, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu went on a two-day visit to Qatar at the invitation of the Emir of the State of Qatar, Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. The trip aimed to strengthen the relationship between Nigeria and Qatar and explore opportunities for investment and cooperation in various sectors.
Whatever is the obstacle or problem that some of you might have encountered in the past should be something of the past and no obstacle to the future. We have men and women of integrity seated across from you here to give you assurances that Nigeria is open for serious business.
During the trip, President Tinubu witnessed the signing of 7 bilateral agreements covering areas of trade, education, employment, business, youth empowerment, sports, tourism and solid minerals, and combating illicit drug trade.
I think the presence of the President of Nigeria will push forward the Qatari Foundation to broaden their support to Nigeria, especially in the areas of education, health, as well as community development, most especially in the areas of research.
President Tinubu also participated in a business and investment forum that brought together top-level executives in both the private and public sectors of Nigeria and Qatar. Qatar's sovereign wealth fund of $500 billion presents significant investment opportunities for Nigeria, and the trip aimed to unlock these opportunities. President Tinubu highlighted Nigeria's young population, talent base, and human capacity as key strengths that can benefit Qatar and attract investment.
Bring your investment. Whenever you are ready to go, your money is free to go out. I give you that assurance. And if you take advantage of all of these opportunities that is available, nowhere else will you find the greater rate of return that is available to you in Nigeria.
President, as the Chief Investment Officer of the country, and the way he spoke today is really encouraging, even for some of us Nigerian investors that would not have looked at Qatar for partnership. I think this has really opened up a new avenue for funding for Nigerians.
Mr. President is the best salesman for Nigeria. He speaks about Nigeria with passion, with commitment, and this is what we need regardless of the challenges we are facing.
U.S. Africa Trade Commission is organizing the International Trade Mission, Atlanta, Georgia, USA. Date 24th to 29th September 2024. Highlights of the trade mission are B2B meetings, investment summit, project financing, market briefings, industry tours, networking activities, cultural and award nights. For more information, please visit our website www.usafricatrade.org or call 007-574-6458. U.S. Africa Trade Commission International Trade Mission 2024.
President Tinubu embarked on an official visit to the Netherlands on Tuesday, April 23, 2024. President Tinubu met with the Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte. The meeting aimed at strengthening bilateral ties and exploring opportunities for collaboration. While in Netherlands, President Tinubu participated in the Nigeria-Netherlands Business and Investment Forum, which brought together heads of conglomerates and organizations from both countries.
President Tinubu again attended a couple of the World Summit vis-a-vis an invitational discussion with bilateral relationship with the Netherlands government and business sector, industrial sector in Netherlands. I want to believe that there are two key things that the president, why the president may have visited Netherlands. Netherlands is a major, huge agricultural country in Europe, and even though the entire landscape of Netherlands is probably not more than the size of a little bit smaller than the size of the Western Nigerian, so to say, excluding Lagos, both in everything, but dairy industry alone, dairy industry, milk and other things, beef. Netherlands is very huge in beef and dairy and protein industry. That industry alone fetched Netherlands about over $150 billion in 1 year, in the last 2-3 years. And I'm not aware that we have heard of cattle in Netherlands far more better than Nigeria. One. Netherlands exported well over $24 billion in vegetable, grass, vegetable alone in 1 year. Again, I am not aware that Netherlands has a more fertile agro land bigger than Nigeria. So it is essentially not about what the president is trying to do. It is about the impact, the inherent impact of going around the world to talk about what others are doing. How did they do it? What kind of help can we derive from there to impact our growth in Nigeria? So the Netherlands trip, I don't know how people will quantify it. From my perspective, was a successful trip for the president, because we were able to get a commitment to helping in agriculture. We were able to get a commitment to help in IT and digital space, and also energy from that country.
The intentionality here is basically to develop the essential tools that Nigeria needs in its trade relations with others. When the president visited the Netherlands, he actually inaugurated the Nigeria-Netherlands Business and Investment Forum, which is meant to be an instrument that business conglomerates from Nigeria and the Netherlands could use to form a partnership and to begin to or to continue to trade more actively than they had ever done before. There are a host of Dutch companies in Nigeria. So the history of trade relations between both countries go back a long way, and President Tinubu has now taken steps to kind of solidify it, give Nigerian businesses more teeth to bite, and one can hope that in the coming year, at least during this first term, there will be more trade activities. I mean, in terms of volume and scale, actually happening between both countries.
Following the Netherlands visit, President Tinubu traveled to Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia, where he participated in the 2024 Special World Economic Forum on the Global Collaboration, Growth and Energy for Development on April 28th and 29th, 2024.
Ready for technology, good education, committed to growth, capital formation that is necessary to drive the economy, like agriculture, food security, innovation, technology advancement must be an inclusive program of the entire world.
What are the effects of these bilateral trips on Nigeria?
Every president actually gives his own assent to, foreign policy. Foreign policy being a tool, to achieve, domestic policies. Now, for President Bola Tinubu, to understand, what his thinkings are around, foreign policy as a tool, we need to circle back to his contract with Nigerians, and that is his manifesto. When he was, seeking this job from Nigerians, he defined in that document foreign policy as an attempt to pursue domestic policies, in the international arena, actually extracting the best possible, benefits for the people of Nigeria. That is how broadly he sees, foreign policy. And now, since taking office, we have also seen it in the way and manner that, he has positioned himself to be the chief marketing officer of Nigeria. I mean, I say this not making an exception. I did mention earlier that, every president that Nigeria has had since, 1960 has had his own accent, his own, perspectives on foreign policy. So you give it your own accent. Now, very clearly, President Tinubu's accent for foreign policy is economic, diplomacy. We have seen the vigor with which, he continues to push trade and investment. Perhaps that came about because in his assessment, and perhaps correctly as well, that is the imperative of our time. And so, bringing in investment, making Nigeria attractive enough for others to want to, invest here is something that we have seen in the last year that he has taken up as, a critical success factor of his presidency. Now, in the Netherlands, when he visited last month, I believe April this year, as a matter of fact, I would say there has been some sort of generic, approach on the part of President Tinubu in terms of the tools that he's developing. Take, for instance, he was in India. He attended this, Business Pact conference in Germany. He was in Saudi Arabia. He was recently in the Netherlands, and in all of these places, he goes to. He is developing a generic, business forum, which is creating a tool, a platform for engagement. But you see, I think he may have now to begin to consider, applying the principles of competitive advantage in some of these, bilateral engagements. Take Holland, for instance, the Netherlands, where he went to last. They are known for something. Agriculture is one of them. They are also known for, water management, water treatment. The blue economy is thriving very much in the Netherlands. Now, a situation where he is much more focused in what a country would mean for Nigeria and builds his relationship around the competitive edge that such country brings to the table for Nigeria. I think, will help to yield, quicker benefits and more sustainable benefits than, applying the same principle, all over the place. Now, I understand, there is this plan to visit Belgium as well. Now, if we could also build a relationship based on research and development, innovation, technology. These are things that Belgium is known for. So get the innovation companies in Nigeria, the tech companies, and so on and so forth. Research institutes. Team them up, get them to collaborate specifically. On that area. You will find that you will win more rather than when you apply the same generic principle, because actually applying that principle of a competitive advantage also ensures that your resources are better applied. You build more strategic partnership and collaboration, and just work it up down the line.
What has President Bola Tinubu achieved in terms of his bilateral movement around the world and the multilateral engagement with multilateral institutions like World Bank, African Development Bank, Islamic Development Bank, North American Development Bank, and almost all those organizations. It is not only the president that is doing that. There are other segments of the subnational government in the ministries. A lot of them have been making a good travel and taking this job very seriously. The president doing all these things will materialize eventually. What are we discussing with our partners? What kind of narratives are we giving our partners? And that's led me to the issue of, please let government officials paint the true picture of what is going on in Nigeria. It's no shame to let the rest of the world, our key economic partners, understand that this is the time to help Nigeria. And we need to move, we need to tell the whole world that yes, we are the capital poverty headquarters of the world. There's no shame in it. It's not as if the poverty was destined on Nigeria. It must have arrived here because of wrong choices. And then if we want to make it right, we need to tell people and be straight with them to say, look, we are having these challenges, and because it's a key thing, one of the very key things that can bring economic prosperity and overcome the challenges that Nigeria is having is to empower the people. It's not two ways about it. And the only way to empower the people is not for government to keep spending. I've already said that, and I think this might resonate with the finance and economic managers in Nigeria. The Central Bank of Nigeria is doing a fantastic job trying to curtail the system in terms of monetary policy initiative and all that goes with it. We need to also go back to the fiscal aspect of it by asking the federal government to reduce spending where necessary to the BRS minimum. When you reduce, you actually prioritize. And when you prioritize, you find out that the best priority to focus on in terms of economic prosperity is to make sure that you focus on the people themselves. That is what we call economic empower for the people. The more you empower your people, the more they become productive, the more the government also earns more taxes. The reason why President Tinubu needed to talk to global leaders, engage with multilateral institutions, is for us to be able to plan ahead to remove that shackle of poverty and banish it from this land. The only thing, I repeat, the only thing that will take poverty out of Nigeria is not government spending. Government spending will not, and I repeat, government spending will not remove poverty in Nigeria, no matter how much you spend it. It has not happened in China. It has not happened before China. It has not happened in India. It has not happened in Bangladesh. Those are countries that have witnessed poverty in a massive way in the recent past. So it will not happen in Nigeria as well. So what is it that can happen? You have to empower the people. You got to, China empower its people. They are all over the world now. India empower its people. They are all over the world. Bangladesh empowers people. They are all over the world. So let's empower Nigeria now so that we can all go all over the world and bring in those remittances and then drive dollar into the country.
Congratulations to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for a successful first year in office despite the numerous challenges. We look forward to a renewed nation. Nigeria's renewal is achievable. Renewal is possible with a renewed attitude. Renewed attitude is possible with a renewed mindset. All things are possible with them that believe. Let's all believe to achieve. Signed, Ambassador Adetunji Anthony Adeleke, Osun West Senatorial District.
President Tinubu has been marketing Nigeria as the investment destination of the next decade with his bilateral and multilateral trips.
Nigeria is the capital headquarters of poverty in the world, whether we like it or not. We ourselves said the multidimensional poverty 3 years ago was 133 million. As we speak now, because of the reforms, which is okay, which is the government is doing now, that multidimensional poverty has gone to about 165 million people. And we are talking of a 220, 230 million people in Nigeria. If 165 after 230 million Nigerians are in the poverty bracket, then that is cause for an alarming solution to resolve it. So when China emerged as the poverty headquarters, China pulled 630 million people out of poverty. A whopping 630 million people were pulled out of poverty in China. When that happened, China didn't sit. They didn't sit in Beijing. They didn't sit in Shanghai. Neither did they sit in Guangzhou. What did China did? China blew out of you to the universe. They transgressed all part of this world, looking for investment opportunity, looking for people to come in. American companies flocked in, Brazilian companies flocked in, German companies flocked in. If you go to China and you see the massive rail system that China constructed all over the China landscape. Who do you think built those technology? That is German technology. Those are German technology. The Chinese did not invent those bullet train. It was invention of German. And it was Chinese used that to boost the economy, expand the economy, expose the economy, and able to move people out of the hinterland from poverty-stricken homestead village setup into modern cities. And again, China was able to come out of it. And guess what? China at a point in time was growing the economy at 16% out of poverty. Now, guess what? Bangladesh took over from China. When Bangladesh took over from China, the whole world, including Nigeria, we donated to Bangladesh. Everybody would donate food to Bangladesh. They would donate part of our budget to Bangladesh. The Bangladeshi did not sit down in Lahore or wherever. They transgressed the whole world. They move around. They went into every meeting. If they have to grade crash, they grade crashed into every meeting. Talking and engaging world leaders, talking and engaging economic leaders. Today, Bangladesh is one of the fastest growing economy in Asia. They are out of poverty. Bangladesh, like a relay race, took that baton and gave it to India. India took that. As at the time India took that baton as the capital headquarters of poverty, India was running 700 million people below poverty level. 700 million. India did not sit down too and just say, well, the investors will come. Their leaders went around the world to engage world leaders and economic leaders and industrial captains. Guess what? India moved 300 million people out of poverty and empower another 300 million to engage in full employment overseas and at home. Today, the Indian economy is growing at an average of over 9%. And it's the best one of an economy that Nigeria should replicate. Now, finally, Nigeria suddenly took over the baton from India. We do not have a solution right now. I have not seen anything on the ground to say that we are actually doing what the 4 older of that title had done. China, Bangladesh, India. We've not done anything. I've not seen it. Even though we are doing some reforms, but we need to do more than that. And this is more reason why President Tinubu has to globetrot, engage international leaders in bilateral relations, engage international organizations in multilateral organizations in order to drive that into Nigeria and make Nigeria economy better.
Join us in the next episode of Global Light, plus our segments in light of global issues.